Hey guys, I'm Nick, and on this episode of the Scran Line, I have a super exciting video, probably the most exciting video I've ever made. Let me explain why. Now, just before we get stuck into it, this is going to be a long video, okay? You can probably see already, like down there, it's a long video. If you don't want to hear me talk, bad luck, I don't care. Don't watch it. If you do want to hear me talk, awesome, because this is really, really exciting, guys. So, this video, or these cupcakes, there's two purposes behind them, if that makes sense. This is a Valentine's Day episode, and I was originally scheduled to have Nikki Startip on this video, but because she likes to talk more than I do, and the video is so long, I decided to kind of shaft her, so we'll get her in soon, you know. Anyway, so Valentine's Day episode. Also, these cupcakes are called Diamond Heart Cupcakes, and that is the first track on Lady Gaga's new album. And not only is it inspired by Lady Gaga, but these cupcakes have been made for Lady Gaga. So let me explain what happened. Last week, I got an email from a company called Tastemade, who I do some videos for. They said to me, Nick, Lady Gaga's people want some promotional content for the Super Bowl that's coming up, which is this weekend. And we would like you to make her a cupcake. And I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And that was what I wrote back in the reply email. And then they wrote back, so are you in? And then I wrote back every emoji and said, oh, I have something for you by the end of the day. 4 days later, this is what I came up with. I'm super, super proud of these, and I can't wait for her to see them. She's actually going to see these cupcakes. I'm going to be on her radar, and I feel pretty special about that. Now, these cupcakes, it's a long video. There's a fair bit involved in these cupcakes. They are not hard to make. They just take a long time to make. But I've broken it down into a 2-day recipe for you guys. So most of it you can actually prepare the day before, and then you can do the decorating the next day. I think it's really Gaga. It's kind of like paying homage to like the old Gaga and kind of the new kind of softer Gaga with the pink colors that's inspired by the album cover. Let's get stuck into these, guys. These are the ingredients you need to make them. Okay guys, so start off by preheating your oven to 160 degrees Celsius or 320 degrees Fahrenheit. The ingredients you're going to need are some sugar, milk, flour, softened butter, salt, baking powder, Greek yogurt, eggs, oil, some coconut essence, and some vanilla extract. For the Turkish Delight filling portion, you're going to need some water, rose essence or rose water, some water, corn flour or cornstarch, and you're also going to need some sugar, which is not pictured here. For the coconut mirror glaze, you're going to need some white chocolate, sugar, sweetened condensed milk, water, powdered gelatin, some more water for that, and you're also going to need some mauve and soft pink Americolor food gel. Now guys, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I upload 2 new videos a week. Okay, so we're going to start off with the cupcakes. So pop all of the dry ingredients into a large mixing bowl. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can just use a sift to sift these ingredients together. You're going to mix these on low speed to make sure everything's well combined before you add your softened butter, and mix that on low speed until everything reaches a crumbly sand-like texture. While that's mixing, you're going to add your milk to a large jug, along with your oil, eggs, Greek yogurt, vanilla extract. You're also going to need to add your coconut essence here as well, and whisk those up. You're going to add that to your dry ingredients in a slow and steady stream, and once you have it all in there, you can stop your mixer and scrape down the bowl just to get those bits at the bottom that might not be mixed in properly, and mix for a final 20 seconds. I'm going to line my cupcake tin with some cupcake liners and fill them up about 3/4 of the way. We're going to pop this into the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. Once a skewer inserted into the center comes out clean, you can transfer them to a cooling rack to cool down completely. Moving on to the buttercream frosting, so I'm using my buttercream frosting. You can find the recipe for that on my website. I'm going to add some rose essence in there and just mix it to combine it. Moving on to the Turkish Delight Center, I'm going to add my cornstarch and water into a mixing bowl. Mix those together and set them aside. You're going to add your water to a medium-sized saucepan along with your sugar. I'm going to add a little bit of lemon juice there for some extra flavor. Mix that until everything is dissolved and it reaches a boil. Then you can add your cornstarch and rose water. Mix that until it thickens, about 2 or 3 minutes. Then you're going to add your pink food dye, and this is optional. And you're going to mix that until everything's evenly colored. Then you can set it aside to chill. Moving on to our mirror glaze, we're going to add our powdered gelatin into a small mixing bowl along with some water. Give it a gentle mix and set it aside. Next, you can add your water to a large saucepan along with your sugar. Bring that to a gentle boil. Then you can take it off the heat and add that sweetened condensed milk. Give that a good mix, add your gelatin, mix that until it's well dissolved. We're going to add our white chocolate into a jug. Pour the hot milk mixture over it. Let it sit for about 10 minutes. Then you can either use a bar mix or a stick blender to mix this until it's really smooth, or you can just use a whisk. Then I'm going to add my pink food dye and mix that until it's evenly colored. Now you're going to set that aside to cool to 33 degrees Celsius. Moving on to our choc shards. I've got some red Wilton choc melts here. I'm going to melt those in the microwave. I'm going to do the same to my white chocolate. I'm going to add that red chocolate to the white chocolate, mix it until it's well combined. We're going to pour this onto a baking tray lined with baking paper. Using a spatula, you're going to spread it as evenly as you can. Let it sit and chill and kind of set. Now, I cut this up with a large knife that I ran under the sink with hot water, just so that these wouldn't crack when I cut them and they would actually cut with straight lines. So we're just going to cut some nice little shards, and you want to make sure they have at least 4 corners, that each shape has 4 corners. Once you've cut them, you can set them aside. We're going to move on to our frosting. Now, this might look like a weird way to do this, but I wanted these to be in a dome shape. So I'm adding a little bit of buttercream frosting to these half circle silicone molds. I'm going to have the measurements for this in the written recipe. I'm using the back of a teaspoon just to spread these around the outside of the molds, and it's going to help prevent any air bubbles. Then you can fill them up with more buttercream frosting. Just level them off with a spatula, and you're going to put these in the freezer for about 30 minutes. Then once these have frozen, it's time to cover them with mirror glaze. Now I actually covered these with 4 layers of mirror glaze. And the reason is because the mirror glaze can be a little bit transparent because it's quite a light color and you're putting it onto a white frosting. So what you want to do is you want to cover them, let it sit for about 5 minutes and cover them again and repeat that 4 times. Our cupcakes baked beautifully. I'm going to spray the outside with some gold Wilton color mist. We're going to core the center, fill it up with that Turkish Delight, pop your mirror glaze frosting on top, and then you're just going to stick those shards on top. And guys, I know it seems like a lot, but it's really easy to make. It just takes a little bit of time, and they look so freaking cool, and they taste absolutely amazing. Okay guys, so those were